Hello everybody, it's your boy Oscar here back with another prediction video. So as you all know, you may have saw my short, my YouTube short about Memphis Depay getting the top scorer title off from Persie, and I'm not happy about it, which means Netherlands has a public enemy number one, or at least the Dutch national team, but I still like club football. But the Dutch national team has an enemy, has added an enemy, and that's me. So today we're going to predict the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League tables, just to brighten up my mood a little. And for the record, yes, I did watch a game. Yes, the Depay did score twice, but I don't give a fuck about what the Dutch national team does. At least we're done with the fucking international break. We can continue to club football, which gives me a good reason to make the predictions for the Champions League phase, the Europa League phase, and the Conference League phase. Now, I am going to say the Conference League is going to be more like a little guess. The Europa League and the Champions League are going to be more based on stats. But keep in mind that I do not have a grudge against any of these clubs except Ajax, because fuck them. But anyway, let's take a look. So, the first teams I'm going to predict for 36 is probably going to be, and that's probably going to be everyone else's opinion, it's probably going to be Kairat Almaty. It's impressive that they got to the league phase. Knocked out Celtic in the playoff final, which is impressive. You know, I did not see that coming, but in the end, it's just a little fun club to first enter the Champions League. So I am going to say they're going to finish dead last. For 35, I am going to say Pafos from Cyprus. They do have a good squad. Like, they do have some decent players, but not as much to compete in the Champions League. So, unfortunately, sorry for all the Pafos fans out there, but I don't think Pafos have what it takes to survive the league phase. And here comes my first shocker of the Champions League phase. I'm gonna say 34 is gonna be 34. I'm gonna say Copenhagen. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think Copenhagen has a good squad, but I don't think they have a good enough squad to survive the league phase. And they got a really tough schedule, I think. So, trust me, it's not going to be easy for them. That's why I'm going to put them on 34. Sorry. Then I'm going to go for 33. And I am actually going to put No, not Olympiacos. I am going to put Karabakh in there. Don't get me wrong. They have an incredible squad. You know, they could potentially 1% chance to survive the league phase by end, but I am going to say they're going to finish on the 33 spot. Moving on to 32, I am gonna say a shocker. That's probably gonna be Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium, and I am gonna say that Union Saint-Gilloise does. It's impressive that they became champions in Belgium last season, but I am gonna say they're not gonna. But I don't think they have the power to survive the league phase. So that's why I'm gonna put them on 31, or 32. Sorry. 31, however, I am going to put Sporting Lisbon in there, mainly because they lost their star striker Gyökeres to Arsenal, which is unfortunate for them. And I do think Sport is really going to struggle in the Champions League without Emerim and Gyökeres. So that's why I'm going to say they're going to finish 31. Moving on to the 30th spot, I am going to say it's probably going to be... It was a tough one to call. But I am going to say 30 is probably going to be for Bodo Glimt. I really like their rise, how they really got their rise up in Europe. Last season they reached the semi-finals of the Europa League, knocked out Lazio, but in the end I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to say 30 place is probably going to be for Bodo Glimt. Sorry. Then for 29, that's a tough one to call, because we have some really good teams in there that could survive the league phase. But I am going to say 29. I am going to say, and it may shock people, I am going to say AS Monaco. Sure, Monaco does have some good players with Pogba, Ansu Fati, and they got like a whole ton of other players, but I don't think they're going to survive the league phase this time. I don't think they will. 28, that's a tough one to call though. But I am going to say, and that may surprise people, I am going to say Bayer Leverkusen. Why? Xabi Alonso left? Literally their entire squad, not their entire squad, but like half of the squad, they got an invincible championship in the Bundesliga left for other clubs, like Wirtz to Liverpool, And Ten Hag really didn't shine much in at Bayer Leverkusen. He got sacked like a couple months ago, so I am going to say Bayer Leverkusen is going to get eliminated, but I might regret it. So that's why I'm going to put him on 28th place. 27, that's going to be a really tough one, because I am going to say 27 is probably going to be for Villarreal. I don't think they really have the power to survive the league phase. They got some decent players, but not enough to knock through the league phase. I don't think they got the power to do that yet. They really need a lot more power to do that in order to really survive the league phase. 26th place is. I am gonna say 26 is probably gonna go to. Here's my prediction for 26. I am gonna say it's probably gonna be a tie between Benfica and Atalanta. But I am going to say it's probably going to be Benfica, because I really don't trust Benfica. They lost some really good players, like Di Maria, good shooter, basic toss, old player of Feyenoord. They lost Di Maria to Argentina. You know, they got some decent players, but not enough. I don't think they have enough to survive the league phase. And then 25th for the last eliminating spot. Just above, I forgot. Just above Benfica. I am going to say it's probably going to be... And that's going to be the most shocking one. I am going to say Bayern Munich is going to get eliminated. Why? Their schedule. Can I see that? I don't know if I can, actually. Look at what Bayern Munich got. Look what they got. They got Chelsea. They got freaking... Where are they? Puffles away, which is doable for them, at least. They got freaking... What did they get? Match 3. They got freaking Chelsea, Buffals. They got Club Bruges, which is also a tricky side to beat. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, who aren't defending champions. They also got... Can I see what they got, please? Arsenal away, which is also a toughie for them. Sporting home, which is also really tough for them. What do they also get? They got Union Saint-Gilloise, which could be doable for them, and they got PSV away, which is going to be really tricky for them. So that's why I'm going to put Bayern Munich on 25th place, just narrowly. I do think they're going to put up a fight, but I don't think just enough. So that means one of the big clubs will be eliminated in the league phase early. I am going to do a little swap. I am going to put Borussia Dortmund in place of Sporting. Reason because Borussia Dortmund has a little shaky start, and I don't think Borussia Dortmund looked the stable squad they had like back in the season when they reached the final. I don't think they're gonna pull through. So I think there are gonna be some shockers with Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund, and Bayern Munich being eliminated. But there's also gonna be like not big surprise with Pavlos being eliminated, Gairot being eliminated. But we're going to move on to the playoffs. And I'm going to say, we're going to start from 24, and I'm going to put it at 29th place. So I'm going to put it at 24, just above Bayern Munich. I am going to say Ajax somehow survived. Now, don't get me wrong. As a Feyenoord fan, my hatred for Ajax is like an inferno. However, I do think they might got a decent draw. They got some tough opponents. They are going to face the toughest ones first. And they're going to end on like a little weaker note. I do think they could get a point against Inter. But I don't. So I am going to put them just above Bayern, but just barely. I'm going to go to 23rd place. And I'm going to put Slavia Prague. I am going to put Tottenham Hotspur above him. Tottenham Hotspur really are steady with Thomas Frank. They really put up a fight against Paris Saint-Germain in the UEFA Super Cup. Sure, they did lose to... what was it again? Didn't they lose to Burnley? No, Burnley played against Man United. I don't know where to... I think they lost to Fulham. So I do think Tottenham really have a decent squad with Xavi Simons being there as well. Former PSV player. However, I do think Tottenham's really going to struggle. But I am going to put them on 33rd place. Mainly because I do have faith in them. So I do think Tottenham will somehow survive the league phase. 22nd place. I am going to put Inter in there. Why? Inter, after their trashing they got in the Champions League final last year, against Paris Saint-Germain and their disappointing Club World Cup run in America, I they had some really big changes, like Inzaghi left for Al Hilal, and they had hired Shivu from what's it again, Wolverhampton or something. I don't know. But I just do still see some weaknesses in Inter, and I am gonna say Inter's gonna finish 22nd, just above Tottenham. They're really gonna struggle this year, but I do think they're gonna survive. I'm gonna put 21st place. That's gonna be a real shocker. I am gonna put Atletico Madrid. I am gonna put them at 21st. Want to know why? Because I do think Atletico does have a good squad with Julian Alvarez being there, and of course our former Feyenoord defender David Hodgko being there. However, I do still see some unstabilizing stuff in at Atletico Madrid. That's why I think they're going to finish on 21st place. And I don't think they're really going to take a shot at the at the top 8. I do think they're really going to put up a fight, but I don't think they're going to reach top 8. And moving on to 20th place, I am going to put Galatasaray on there because I do think Galatasaray does have a decent squad, with Osimhen now being there, Ederson being there now. They got some decent players there. That's why I think Galatasaray is going to finish 20th place. 90th place, I am going to put Frankfurt in there. Sure, they lost some good players like Iketike, Marmouche in the transfer windows, both in January and in the summer transfer window. But they do have some decent. They still have a decent squad. I do think Frankfurt is really going to keep up the pace in the Champions League. So I do think they're going to finish 90th place. 80th place really going to be a tough one because I really see a lot of clubs. But I am going to put Napoli in there. No, not Napoli. I am going to put Olympiacos in there. Olympiacos really turned up in the Europa League and the Conference League. I do think they really got a decent squad. So I am going to put them above Frankfurt. Because I do really have a good striker, El Kabi, who was the top scorer in the Conference League that year they won it. So I do think Olympiacos will stand a chance in the Champions League. 17th place, I am going to play it a little bit safe, and I am going to put Juventus in there. Juventus really does have some good players, but I don't think they're top 8 material-wise. So I'm going to put them on 17th place, but who knows? They could surprise me. 16th place. I am gonna put Arsenal on 16th place. They got a really good striker with Gyökeres, and they got Saliba, they got Declan Rice, Jurrien Timber, Raya. However, I do see Arteta still screwing it up like usual, so I am gonna put him on 16th place. But I do see Arsenal still surprising me. 15th place is gonna be the hands of Club Bruges. I do think Club Bruges actually does have a decent squad. With they trashed Rangers. They trashed Rangers in the Ibrox and in their in Belgium, which is amazing for Club Bruges. So I do think Club Bruges is gonna really surprise them, gonna take the 15th place. 14th place, I am gonna play a little shocker here, and I am gonna put Real Madrid in there. Real Madrid does have some good players. Of course, now that Modric left and Kroos, I do see Real Madrid struggling. They got Trent. They got Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool on a free transfer, which is amazing for them. They got Xabi Alonso at the helm, but I don't think Real Madrid will impress them too much in the Champions League. So I am gonna put them on the 14th place. And what I'm gonna put on the 13th place, I am gonna put Olympique Marseille on the 13th place. I do think Marseille really have a good squad. Like, they got Greenwood. They got Paixão from, of course, my club Feyenoord. They got, of course, Rabiot left. They got some really decent players, but I do think Marseille is really going to surprise in the Champions League, and I am going to put them on 13th place. 12th place, I am going to put, who should I put there? I am going to put Athletic Club Bilbao on there. Mainly because they do have Iñaki and Nico Williams there. So I do think Athletic Club Bilbao will really surprise. And I think I am going to put them on 12th place. 10th place, I am going to play it a little bit safe, and I am going to say Newcastle's going to finish the 10th place. Newcastle does have a really good squad with Tonali, and of course, their star striker Isaac left for Liverpool, but that doesn't mean they're weak now. So I do think Newcastle will surprise them. I'm gonna put them on 10th place. I may overestimate them, but trust me, I do think they got the potential. And on the final playoff spot, I am gonna put this may sound as a shocker, but I am gonna put Barcelona on there. I do think Barca does have a really, really good squad with Frankie De Jong, Joel Garcia, Szczesny, Lamine Yamal, Rashford, Lewandowski. You know, they got some really good players, but I do see them struggling. So I am going to put Barcelona on 9th place, which is going to conclude the playoffs. And we're going to move on to the top 8, which is going to be some shockers, and there may be some, well, predictable people. 8th place, I am going to put Man City in there. Manchester City really have a good squad. I don't see them really struggling too much this time. They really got some tough matches. The hardest one of them is probably going to be against Real Madrid away, the Bernabeu. So I am going to put Man City 8th place. And for those who don't know, the top 4, 24 until 9 will get to the playoffs for the Champions League knockout phase, and the numbers 8 until 1 will reach the round of 16 immediately. And I'm gonna put Man City on 8th place. 7th place, I am gonna put a little shocker in there, and I am gonna put PSV Eindhoven in there. PSV really has a good squad, like, not kidding, no kidding. PSV is going to be really tempting to get the top 8 spot. So I am going to put them on top. I am going to put them on 7th place. They got some really good players. Perisic, Schouten. Of course, their star striker Luke de Jong left. Lozano left. Noah Long left. Bakayoko left. A lot of their good players left. But I do think they're going to reach top 8 still. And that's not me saying because I love him. I am a Feyenoord fan and I hate him. But in the Champions League, I wish him all the best. 6th place, I am gonna put 6th place. I am gonna put Chelsea in there because Chelsea really has a good squad. And honestly, I think Chelsea might get first place, but I do still see Liverpool getting first place. The rest of the clubs, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, are going to be the ones who I didn't mention yet. I don't really know who I didn't mention yet, so I'm not really going to do the little subject about it. And the first place in the end of the league phase, I am going to go really to the conclusion of the Champions League, because otherwise we're going to be here for half an hour. I am going to say Liverpool is going to take the first place. So that's going to be my prediction for the Champions League table. You can agree, you can disagree. But that's my predictions, and I won't change them too much. Moving on to the Europa League. Jesus, that was a load off. And then you have to imagine that I still have to do the limited whereabouts tomorrow. Well, you're going to get a whole lot of uploads on your freaking thing coming. So, we're going to predict the Europa League now. And that has some really strong clubs there. So, I'm going to put... and I'm going to really do this really short, because otherwise we're going to be here for a while. Except when it comes to Feyenoord, because then I will really talk about Feyenoord. So 36, I am going to put Young Boys in there. You know how this goes. Young Boys suck. 35, I am going to put Sturm Graz in there because, you know, they suck. 34, I am going to put Real Betis in there, actually, because Betis, they do got Anthony, but I don't think they're really going to stick too much to their schedule. So I do think Betis is going to get 34. Here comes a shocker, my first shocker. I think AS Roma is going to get 33. Not because they have a bad squad, but I do think they got a really tough draw. So I do think Roma's going to get 33. I am going to put Raiders on 32. They lost their star striker Dessers to Panathinaikos. So I think Raiders are going to finish 32. I am going to say Panathinaikos is going to finish 31. Because, you know, they got a decent squad, but not enough to survive in Europa League. 30 place, I am going to say Midtjylland is going to finish 30th, because I don't really have much faith in them. Ludogorets is going to take them 29th place, because, you know, 29th is really all there is to it for them. 28, I am going to say French Faros is going to take 28th. unfortunately, they're going to get eliminated, but I do think they're still like a strong side. 26th, I am going to say Steaua Bucharest, FCSB, from Romania. I don't think they're really, they really don't have a bad squad, but I don't really see them impress too much. And then the 25th for the last elimination spot, I am going to say it is unfortunate for those people, but I am going to say Braga, because I don't really think Braga has a good squad just to survive. So I think Braga is going to get the sack. And then moving on to the playoff spots, 24th, I am going to put Go Ahead Eagles on there. Go Ahead Eagles does really have a capable squad, but I don't really see them getting top 8. But don't underestimate their trainer. I don't really know what his name was again. Melvin Boole, I think, was it. So I do think Go Ahead Eagles are going to finish 34th. 23, I am actually going to put Freiburg in there, because Freiburg does have a capable squad, but I don't think really enough for reaching the top 8. 22nd, I am going to put Olympique Lyon on there, because I don't think Olympique Lyon, they really lost some of their star players because of their bankruptcy, because they're timed, because of their timely relegation to Ligue 1 in France. So I'm going to say Lyon is going to finish 22nd. I am going to say Lille is going to finish 21st. Because they lost their star striker Jonathan David to, was it Juventus? I think Juventus. And I do see Lille struggling a lot more than they did before. So I'm going to put them on 21st. 20th place, unfortunately, with all the pain in my heart, and I really hate saying this, but I am going to put Maccabi Tel Aviv in there. You may ask, why do you have hatred for Maccabi Tel Aviv? Listen, me and Israel don't go too great. When, how do you call that again? When the Eurovision back in Switzerland, I was really fuming when Israel got the first place temporarily in the Eurovision. And since then, I really have a multiple hatred for Israel. And that already was back in the Eurovision in 2023 was 2024 in Malmö in Sweden. So that's mainly the reason I'm going to put Maccabi Tel Aviv on 20th place. With literally, I hate saying this. And what I also hate saying is I am going to say Malmö's going to finish 19th place. And you may ask, what's your problem with Sweden now? They really disrespected Joost Klein back in Malmö, and I don't like Malmö, and I don't like Sweden. Except if people are nice of Sweden, then I fully respect everybody who comes from Sweden. Except when they talk bad about the Netherlands, then literally you're lucky, because if I would have seen you, I would have cut your head right off your shoulders. Because nobody talks about my land bad that quick. And that's literally a warning to one of the YouTubers, Capital Chris. If you talk about the Netherlands bad again, I will sever your head from your shoulders. Got it? Thanks. Got a little carried away there, didn't I? my apologies. 80th place. Back to the positive vibes. My bad. 80th place, I am going to put Dinamo Zagreb on there. I do really think they got a good squad, but I don't really think enough to reach top 8. 70th place, and that's going to be a literal shocker, I am going to put Fenerbahce on there. Fenerbahce. They got a really good squad, but guess what they did? Right after they got screwed by Benfica, they sacked their coach Mourinho, who literally eliminated my club fighter, shattering our hope for reaching the Champions League, and with it, a lot of millions of euros going in smoke. That's his fault. That's Fenerbahce's fault, and that's freaking Mourinho's fault. So I think Mourinho's going to get 18th place. I am going to say Fenerbahce's going to finish 17th place. 16th place, I am going to say Bronn's going to finish 16th place. They really have a good squad, and I do think they could shock the whole world. And then moving over to the seeded teams, 15th place, I am going to say Aston Villa. I don't see Unai Emery really getting that engine started anytime soon. And if you don't get that engine started really soon, it's going to cost you real bad in the Europa League. So I am going to say Aston Villa is going to become 15th place. 14th place, I am actually going to put FC Utrecht on there. They really surprised me. I really thought they're going to get eliminated by Sheriff, and if they survive, they're going to get eliminated by Servette. Or, heck, even get eliminated by Srinsky Mostar. Guess what? They survived all three of those jerks. And that really surprised me, because I saw Utrecht as one of the people who were getting eliminated real quick. So I am gonna say Utrecht is gonna finish 15. I am gonna say Utrecht finished 14th place, and I think it would be way deserved for them. 30th place, I am gonna put Celta Vigo on there. Celta Vigo really has a good squad, but I don't think they really capable of reaching the top 8. So I'm gonna put it on 13th place, 12th place, and that it doesn't really hurt me much. I don't really like saying this. I don't really hate Switzerland much, but if you saw my post on YouTube saying made in Switzerland where your football club suck, you kind of understand where I'm going to. Switzerland doesn't like me. I don't really doesn't really like me. I don't really like Switzerland, so I'm gonna put Basel on 12th place. They really do have a decent squad, but I don't really see them getting top 8 and better, because if they face Feyenoord, trust me, in the round of 16, trust me, you're dead. You're dead, son. 11th place, I am gonna put Bologna on there. The Coppa Italia winners of last season. I do think they're really gonna put up a fight. Way more of a fight than they did in the Champions League last season. So I'm gonna put Bologna in 11th place. 10th place, I am gonna put Racing Genk on there for Belgium, and I don't really think they got a decent squad, but I don't really think they're gonna reach top 8. And then for the final playoff spot, I am gonna put Oche Nice on there. Mainly because I don't really see Oche Nice reaching the playoffs or the top 8. So that's going to be my playoffs, and we're going to move on to the top 8. And then 8th place, I am going to say Red Bull Salzburg is going to take 8th place. They really got a decent squad. They really put up a fight in the Club World Cup, and that really shocked me. Of course, they did get, unfortunately, a win against my club Feyenoord, but that really doesn't matter. So I'm going to put them on 8th place. 7th place, I am going to put Nottingham Forest on there. I think they're really going to shock the world in the Europa League, so I do think Nottingham is going to get 7th place. 6th place, I am going to put... did I talk about FC Porto? I don't think I really did. No, I didn't put FC Porto on there. I'm going to say FC Porto is going to end on the 6th place, because I do really think they got a decent squad. 5th place, I am going to put VfB Stuttgart on there, because I do think they're going to reach top 8 this time. 4th place, I am going to put Red Star Belgrade on there, Crvena Zvezda, from Serbia. So that's going to be my prediction for Red Star Belgrade. They do really have a powerful squad, so I do think we should see them reach top 8. Number 3, I am going to put, and for 3rd place, I am going to put PAOK on there. PAOK really surprised me really good. They hired Luka Ivanušić from Feyenoord, and I do really think they're going to reach 3rd place. 2nd place, our buddies from Scotland. I see them, personally as a Feyenoord fan, I see Celtic as my friends. So I am going to put Celtic on 2nd, because Celtic really has a good squad, and they should be able to get 2nd place. And then obviously my club Feyenoord being on 1st place. Reason why we've really got a good squad. We really cooked on the transfer market. We got Jordan Bos. We got Ameda Hovic from Sheffield United. We got Watanabe. We got Tengsted. We got Sam Stein from Twente. We got Valente. We've really got a lot of good players. Even Gonzalo Borges from Porto. And I do really think we are going to reach the 1st place in the Europa League. So that's going to be my prediction for the Europa League table. Agree or disagree, let me know in the comments what your predictions are, if you're a football fan even. And then we're going to move on to the final part of the video, and it's going to be the Conference League. And I am only going to put the top 8. I am only going to predict the top 8, because I really don't know much of the clubs, and I can't really give myself opinion on most of the clubs, because some of them I know, some of them I don't. So we're gonna move on to the top 8 of the Conference League, and I'm gonna put on 8th place. I am gonna put Sparta Praha in there with Priska back at the helm at Sparta Prague. I do really see Sparta Prague really reaching the round of 16 immediately. I am gonna put Rayo Vallecano on 7th place on the top 8, because I do think Rayo Vallecano really has a decent squad. 6th place goes to Shakhtar Donetsk. I do think Shakhtar Donetsk really has a decent squad, so I am going to say they're going to finish 6th place. 5th place, I am going to say 5th place. I am going to say Strasbourg, because I do really think Strasbourg really has some good people, so I do think Strasbourg is going to finish 5th. 4th, I am going to put Legia Warszawa on fourth, because I really do think they got a decent squad. Third place, I am going to put AZ Alkmaar on there. Mainly because AZ Alkmaar does have some young talents. Of course, with Kees Smit and Max Meerdink. Of course, they still have Troy Parrott from Tottenham Hotspur, which is also very great. So I do think AZ's going to finish third. Second place, I am going to give to AEK Athens. And first place, obviously, goes to Crystal Palace. And if y'all want to know what my eliminations are, I'm going to say Dynamo Kiev, Fiorentina, Haken, Hamburg Spartanas, Lech Poznan, Mainz, Omonia, Slovan Bratislava, Shamrock Rovers, Rapid, Shivora, Shurinsky, Samsonspor, and Noah are going to finish in the elimination spots. My god, that was a mouthful. Have you all followed it so far? Because hopefully you did. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the prediction video of the European season coming in a couple of weeks. So, many good luck to all the clubs out there, and especially to Michael Feyenoord. And let's make sure we make this European season to never forget. Anywho, peace.